Hello guys and gals, it is the 6th of January 2010. This is Derek, and recently Mr. Peter Schiff mentioned we are leaving the decade of sin, thus transcending into the decade of hell, and I want to comment more on this issue. First off, do I agree with Mr. Schiff on this issue? I'm going to say yes with a monstrous but. I will get to that but in a little while, but first I want to talk about reasons why I agree with him. First off, the fiat dollar. Fiat means a currency which is not backed by any real commodities like gold, silver, oil, food, or whatever. And fiat in Latin means just let it be, which has caused a heck of a lot of problems. And I've been saying for so long about the dollar collapse that is happening. And it's not going to be the most prettiest of sights for a lot of people. People are not expecting it to happen because they're trusting what the mainstream media is stating. They're stating that everything is fine, there's not going to be any inflation. And when we look at inflation, over the last 100 years or so since the Fed has been in charge, a lot of things have went skyrocketed in price. So in the long-term time frame, look at what the prices were in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Most of you have to use history for that, but some of you can remember what the prices were in the 60s and 70s and even earlier. It's a heck of a lot higher than it is today, so that's inflation right there. We look at short-term inflation. This is mainly shown in our energy and our food cost. I guess the people that say inflation isn't an issue, I guess they don't buy groceries or they don't pay energy bills because it's skyrocketing right now, and it seems as if essentials during this point is what's going to be inflating because it all works to the whole supply and demand issue. When people don't have as much money, that means they can only be purchasing necessity items, therefore less frivolous spending, and the frivolous spending items, the demand for that goes lower, therefore prices really can't go that much higher on those items. But you look at something like food, and one reason why it's going to be a decade of hell is because we have all of these natural disasters. Currently, right now, Florida is very cold, and I guess oranges are having a difficult time. Orange juice futures are skyrocketing this week. And all this weather is just making it very difficult for the crops. People are talking about food shortages, which seems to be the case. Then we throw in colony collapse disorder. That's like a double whammy, and most people may not even know what that is, and that's because of the misinformation by the mainstream media. Colony collapse disorder is the honeybees that is dying off, which is going to make it even that much worse for the food production. So the supply of food is going to be going lower, thus the prices can only go higher. And then let's do a triple whammy. That is the crap that they are putting in our foods. Jesse the Body Ventura recently said in his last conspiracy video that the powers that be are controlling what's being put in our food and in big pharma, and it's not the greatest. We already know about the crap that they're putting in there. So it's just going to cause a lot of problems. And I said in my 2010-2011 prediction video that I'm expecting a lot of people to be sick. Whether a lot of it comes from the H1N1 vaccine, I'm sure that's going to be one case. Like I've been mentioning, the powers that be control pharma. H1N1 vaccine is a part of pharma. There you go. But the foods that we are eating, you can't eat it and expect that bad stuff isn't going to be coming back at some point. And therefore, it's just not going to be pretty. We also got war and terror that could be coming into play, and I really do feel that this is going to lead into a population reduction of some sort. The powers that be seem as if they want to reduce it by over 90%. Whether they will get that high, I doubt it, but I do feel over 50% seems as if it's going to be potential. And you're saying, oh, that's so negative to say, and you might be right. It might seem negative, but it seems realistic at the same point also. And one of the things that we have learned from death is that we all are going to have to die at some point. Anybody, no one ever really dies anyway. Our spirits continue on, and if that's the case, if say we die and that's over, what's the whole point of this whole life anyway? Seriously. But, and this is the but, I agree with Mr. Peter Schiff about it being the decade of hell from that point of view. However, it's not really going to be a decade of hell, but mainly just like 3-4 years, if anything. If I look at the worst decade of hell, we have to go back to the 1930s and into the 1940s, where we had the economic depression, which was then followed by World War II. But what we got here is we have a transition into the next cycle, which is going to be that of conscious co-creating. It starts around April of 2012, and the midway point is October of 2012. What this means is that the understanding we're going to have on the law of attraction is going to be so magnificent. Therefore, I talk about stuff like the sickness that's going to come into play. Yeah, we may have sickness, but we're going to have amazing healing along the way. And we may have destructive weather, but we may have amazing solutions along the way. So with all the problems that come with us, the solutions are going to be there for us. So that's going to make it a beautiful thing. So I think 2012 will be the worst year of all time, but it's also going to be one of the best years of all time. That's because the energy torsion field that we are within us is going to have so much creation, a lot of bad stuff and a lot of good stuff. Probably more bad than good, and the reason why I'm stating that is because we move to the ascension point, whether it's December 21st, 2012, or whichever date it happens to be. When we get past that, that means for the first time ever, we will have more positivity than negativity, and for the last time, we will never, ever have more negativity, which will thus transcend us to a golden age. How do I know this? It comes through spirituality. It comes through feeling this information came to me. In May of 2007, I didn't know when this was going to happen. I just felt that the halfway point was coming soon, and thus it would mean a more positive future. And everything that I've researched on the Mayan calendar comes pretty much exactly the same with the information that was given to me then. So a lot of great things are going to be happening in this decade, making it the best decade of all time. That's why I'm saying it's a magnificent but to the whole issue. So now you look for, well, what can I do to make this an amazing decade? And the first big key is to be positive. Don't let negativity, if you dwell on the negativity, it's going to make things very crappy. So as we move in the law of attraction age, or the conscious co-creation age, when you're dwelling on negativity, when you're that negative, a lot of bad stuff is going to happen to you and to others. On the flip side, when you are more positive, a lot of good stuff is going to happen to you and towards others. So it's up to you. If you want to have a lot of war, if you want to have a lot of negativity, go ahead and create it. But if you want to create positivity, once again, go ahead and create it. And I want to talk about the sickness. I'm expecting a lot of great healing. A heck of a lot of great healing. I know myself, I've got Crohn's disease and a bunch of other different things that have affected me on a negative basis, but I've already manifested a lot of great healing, and I know a lot more is going to come as long as I choose that to be for myself. And to me, that's just a wonderful, wonderful, magnificent thing to be able to do. And let's talk about the food. Well, if you want to eat healthy, don't eat as much as the crap as we have today. That's where you look towards organic food, growing your own vegetables and your own fruits. And when you do that, that means that you have less chances of getting very, very sick. Because if you look at, say, the meats that you get in grocery stores, your pork, your beef, your chicken, the animals come from factory farms. These animals are, the foods that they're given are not that great. They don't really have room to run around. But if you can get stuff like free-range chickens and cows that are able to run around to different farms, those are the meats that are going to be a heck of a lot better. So, yes, I think it's going to be difficult, but it's also going to be amazing. So this decade is going to be the best and the worst decade of all time. Thank you for watching this video. Peace out, everyone.